Hello, my friends. I'm here eating my lunch, and I wanted to hop on here because I just had just this intuitive download. I just have to share it with y'all. Okay, so I mentioned that I was working on Astral Antes, and um, I'm currently working on a 30-day journaling experience, and part of that, I do want to start a podcast. I have started recording myself, and part of that is I really want to just be vulnerable and share stories about like how I got to where I am right now, why I've, you know, gone on this journey to better myself, better my life, and kind of what I've done to help me get to this point. Because I know that it is going to be very valuable for other people to be able to hear my story. I know that people are going to be able to relate to it, and I think it will help them feel a little less lonely, and maybe inspire you to do something, to make a small change in your life that can make all of the difference in the world. And you can start living a life where you feel more fulfilled and happy. And that's the way life should be. You should have this excitement about the day. I'm not saying like every day is going to be perfect, but you should be in a place where I think you should be in a place where you feel pretty good most of the time. Um, Again, not saying that you can control every single thing in your life, and that's not the point. It's not about controlling everything. It's about being so secure in yourself and feeling so grounded and just totally loving yourself no matter what, that no matter what is going on out in the world, you are unshakable, you are unfuckwithable, you are just you're grounded and secure. So this morning I went for a walk, and I went to this park that I usually go to, and I took a little video while I was out there and posted it on my Instagram, just being like, "Ah, good morning," and I went to work, I filmed some videos, and then I came home and I realized I was missing my earring. And so I was like, okay, maybe I left it in my car. I walked around where I walked my dog this morning, didn't see it there. And I was like, okay, so maybe I left it at the park. So I looked at the video, and sure enough, I was missing the earring. So I'm like, okay, it's somewhere at the park. I'm pretty sure. And I pulled out my tarot deck and I asked it, like, okay, I'm pretty sure I left this at the park, and I don't know, just give me some guidance. And so I pulled the Hanged Man. So even if you don't know anything about tarot, the imagery on the card is literally someone who's hanging upside down, usually by like a rope on one of their legs. And yeah, so my takeaway from that card, not getting too specific about it, is to look at things from a different perspective, because that the Hanged Man is literally upside down. And so I'm like, okay, look at things from a different perspective. And so I thought about that, and I was like, okay, so maybe I go to the park and I look around in a place that I didn't walk. I don't know. So I went to the park, and sure enough, I did not find anything. And I sat there for a little bit and I thought, and I was like, okay, so maybe it's a shift in my perspective that I need to like get through to work through. And so I'm walking around. I ended up going through, walking the whole loop again. And I was like, okay, maybe it's a shift in perspective. Maybe I'm holding too tightly to this thing that I'm not going to find it because I have this attachment to it. I just need to surrender and let go. So I thought of this idea. I was like, well, maybe I see birds there all the time. I was like, maybe a crow found it, and like took it because it's like, ooh, look at this shiny thing. And I just like, after I had that perspective, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm not so mad about it. It's okay that I don't have it. And so I went to go sit on a log that was cut, a tree that was cut down. And I was like, okay, let me I was going to pull out my earbuds, which were in this pocket. And as I went to do that, I could feel my other pocket. And guess what? Found the earrings. Found the earring in this pocket. Oh my gosh. And I just like when I went to I just had to laugh. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is just so funny that it was literally right there." And I checked the pocket of the cardigan I was wearing earlier, but I didn't check my freaking my shirt. So, I don't know, just like, looking in a different place, like not I should not have been looking at the park. That was not the place that I should have been looking. It was like literally right here. So that was like my lesson from the tarot card talking to me. And then also, as I sat down on the log, I heard like, oh, what a blessing and a lesson. And then I thought of the two words combined, blessing. And I was like, blessings from the universe, cosmic blessings. That's the podcast. Whoa, I got that download. And I was like, dang. I just like, it just hit me all of a sudden. And like I've been having those kind of moments like when I'm out in nature and I'm doing things that make me feel happy, the sun on my skin, being around the trees and the birds, like the more I just connect with that, the more I feel happy, the more I get those kind of downloads and those intuitive hits like that just like clear everything up. I've been pondering over the name of this freaking podcast forever. And I've started recording things and I've got things off my chest and I feel a little clearer and clearer. And then the fact that I was able to get that today, like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you, higher self. Thank you, goddess. However you refer to it, like, if you believe that there is a higher being, that there is, there is a consciousness that is putting all of these things in place, like that's the thing that I am talking about. And so I was thinking about this, cosmic blessings, because like I said, it ties in with the astral aunties, but just this idea that you know all the things that we go through, even the struggles, are a form of a lesson, and when you're far enough away from a traumatic event or something, you can see the blessing in it. And so yeah, that's been what's swirling around in my head. So um just to talk about the podcast, I've already recorded a couple of episodes. I said things out loud that I've never said before. I talked about my experience in the military and how I had some things happen that absolutely shape the way that I move through the world, including how I feel vulnerable being seen. And then I kept going and I talked about another job that I worked that I got fired for my physical appearance. Another wound that I experienced that had to do with being seen. And so I've had this back and forth where I'm like, I want to make YouTube videos. I want to talk about these things in my life. And I used to be so much more open and honest about that stuff. And I see now that I've been carrying these wounds from those periods of time, like these little, traumatic events. And I could talk more about like going into trauma because I'm reshaping, I'm redefining what I thought trauma was. I was like, well, I didn't go to a war, so that, like, it doesn't have to be that to be traumatic. And trauma is actually what happens inside of you after something occurs. You can get an injury and be totally fine if you're in an environment that supports you and you have everything you need to make a healthy recovery. But even if you have a small injury and your experience is bad and people treat you a certain way and you don't get all of the things that you need to make a full recovery, that can be traumatizing in itself, even like, anyways. So yeah, that was my download for today, and I'm excited to work more on it, and I will let y'all know, and I will yeah, keep y'all updated on how that goes. So much love and light. I will talk to you later.